Christine wakes up in bed next to someone. She gets up and grabs some clothes, then walks in the bathroom. One of the bathroom walls is covered in photographs of her and the man. She sees the wedding band on her hand, then walks outside. Ben is waiting for her on the bed. He tells her that they got married 14 years ago and that she's 40 years old. As she gets dressed, he explains that she had a car accident 14 years ago, because of which she gained some injuries which made it impossible for her to remember everything. She stores up information for a day. Then when she goes to bed, it all disappears, and when she wakes up, she thinks she's in her 20s. He asks her to trust him, but she's scared. While making breakfast, he keeps telling her about their life together and their wedding. Before he leaves for work, Ben shows her a list of things she might need and where to find them. She sees a note which says that she needs to pack a bag. Ben tells her that he'll be taking her away for their anniversary. Christine is alone, trying to wrap her head around everything when the telephone rings. The voice on the other side is Dr. Nash, who's been working with her on getting her memory restored. He tells her that Ben might not know about her seeing a doctor. Then, he tells her to go look for a shoebox in the back of her closet. Christine opens the box and finds a camera inside. Nash tells her to switch it on. A recording of her plays, where she talks about the problem with her memory. 2 weeks earlier, Christine is in a car with Dr. Nash, who admits that their professional relationship is a little bit out of the ordinary, with him picking her up from home and seeing her without her husband's knowledge. Christine is scared and confused. They drive into a parking lot, and he tells her how he found her 6 months before. He explains that he's a neuropsychologist and that he's preparing a paper on the type of amnesia she has, so he was willing to do the work for free. As they start walking to his office, Dr. Nash tells her that even though she didn't remember who he was when he called the next day, she still agreed to work with him. Christine has mentioned working with a psychologist to her husband, but he was adamantly against it because she had therapy in the past and it had only upset her. In his office, Dr. Nash gives Christine the camera and tells her to keep a visual diary. He explains that her injuries were sustained in a vicious attack 10 years earlier, resulting from repeated blows to the head. Christine is confused because Ben had told her a different story. Dr. Nash shows her news articles about the attack, and Christine wonders why someone would try to kill her. He says no one really knows, except possibly her. As they leave, he tells Christine not to mention the camera to Ben so that she doesn't feel pressure to share everything. He tells her where to hide it and says he'll call her in the morning to remind her. Christine agrees to the plan. That night, while Ben prepares cocoa, Christine slips away to the bathroom and records her first video diary entry. She explains about her memory condition, and when she hears Ben coming, she quickly hides the camera and pretends to be asleep in bed. The next morning, Christine wakes up next to Ben again. He pretends to be asleep. They repeat the same conversation about her memory loss and their shared life. Christine seems confused about what she does all day and appears disappointed. Later, in the car with Dr. Nash, Christine watches the video. She says that without the recordings, she would believe everything Ben tells her, like the car accident story. She wonders what else he might be lying about. Dr. Nash says he can't risk calling her on the house phone. Christine says she doesn't want to live in fear and asks if the treatment he's proposing will help. Dr. Nash explains that, in rare cases, returning to the scene of the trauma can trigger memory recovery. But his goal is also to build trust with her. When they arrive at the industrial complex, the caretaker leads them to the location where he found her. He explains that Christine had been naked, wrapped only in a bed sheet, and covered in blood. Even then, she couldn't remember anything. Back in the car, Christine asks why she was near the airport. Dr. Nash notes that there are many hotels in the area and suggests she might have been having an affair. The medical report indicated recent intercourse. Christine asks if she was raped, but Nash tells her the report suggested otherwise. Christine struggles to believe she could be someone who cheats. Later, in the bathroom, she films herself saying she needs to remember the truth, no matter what it is or what she might have done. Suddenly, she hears the sounds of children playing outside. Curious, she goes to the window to look, but finds no one there. That night, Christine walks into the bathroom to take a shower. Ben soon joins her, kissing her gently. As they begin to make love, Christine is suddenly hit by a fleeting memory, a man with a scar on his jaw. The moment is gone as quickly as it came. They fall asleep together, but later that night, Christine dreams of a hotel room and flashes of the brutal attack. The next day, Dr. Nash performs neurological tests on Christine. He places her inside an MRI machine and shows her a sequence of photographs. As the images flash before her, Christine becomes overwhelmed and hits the panic button. Later, while they sit together in the waiting room, Nash tells her that some of the photos were random, but others were pulled from her file. He shows her one particular picture that triggered a strong response in her brain. Christine stares at the photo of a woman with the name Claire written on it, but she doesn't recognize her. That evening, while having dinner with Ben, she cautiously brings up the name. Ben denies knowing anyone named Claire and seems caught off guard. When Christine explains she had a memory, a vague one, Ben's interest peaks. She mentions a few small details she recalls from the photo, and Ben hesitates before admitting that this isn't the first time she's remembered Claire. He says they were once close friends, but Claire moved away, and in his view, it's not something that matters anymore. Christine disagrees. It does matter, she says firmly. Ben gets up and retrieves a box of old photos from his study. Inside are pictures of Christine and Claire together. She stares at them and asks why he's been hiding these from her. Ben claims it's to protect her, that Claire couldn't handle Christine's condition and eventually cut ties. He says reliving that rejection would only hurt her. Christine presses him, asking how she's supposed to trust him if he decides what she can and can't know. Ben admits it's hard for him too, that dealing with everything day after day wears him down. Later that night, Christine records a new video entry. She confesses she doesn't trust Ben anymore. She says he's been hiding Claire from her, and maybe more. The next morning, Ben finds that she's taped the photos of Claire on a bathroom wall. Meanwhile, Dr. Nash calls to explain everything again, her condition, the diary, and her daily reset. Christine rewatches her own recording from the previous day, the one where she told herself not to trust Ben. Then she pauses. Something's missing. She zooms in on the bathroom mirror behind her in the video. The photos she had taped there yesterday are gone. Enraged, she starts searching Ben's study and eventually finds a key. It leads her to a locked drawer containing the missing photos. As she flips through them, another memory surfaces, Claire, smiling, telling Christine that she's pregnant. Racing back to the bathroom, Christine compares the images to those in the albums. But now she's looking for something more, any trace of a child, any photo of a baby, any hint that the pregnancy led to something more. There's nothing. No photos. No mention. Just an empty silence. Christine checks her stomach and sees the faint stretch marks etched across her skin. A flicker of memory rises, a conversation with a little boy. Her breath catches. She immediately calls Ben and asks about their child. Within moments, he's back at the house, visibly alarmed. Christine is shaken, emotional, and desperate to understand. "Where is our child?" she pleads. Ben pulls her into an embrace and softly tells her the truth. Their son, Adam, died. Once inside, he explains that Adam passed away from meningitis shortly before his 9th birthday. Christine's eyes search his face, but none of it feels real. Ben brings out another box, one he'd kept hidden to protect her. Inside are photos of Adam as a baby. Christine tries to connect to the images, tries to remember the moments captured in those still frames, but nothing comes. She turns the pages with trembling fingers, stopping at Adam's birth certificate and a small note written in a child's handwriting. Her eyes well with tears, but there's no warmth of memory, only the cold shock of fresh grief. Ben gently takes the photos back. Later that night, Christine makes a video recording. Her voice trembles as she speaks to the camera. This pain might be something Ben has learned to live with, but for me, it's new. And tomorrow, it'll be new all over again. That night, she's haunted by another nightmare. The man with the scar appears again, the hotel room, the assault. Christine jolts awake, gasping for breath, her body shaking. She rewatches her recordings about Adam, clinging to the only proof she has that he ever existed. Later, she begins pulling down the collage of photographs on the bathroom wall. One by one, when she meets with Dr. Nash again, she asks softly, "Did you know about Adam?" He nods. "We've spoken about him before," he says gently. Christine looks away, her voice quiet. Maybe it's better not to remember everything. She stares at the floor for a while, then asks if she should tell Ben about the therapy. Nash doesn't push. He just says, "It's your choice." They sit in silence. That evening, Christine brings up Adam again with Ben. She asks, "Was I a good mother?" Ben assures her that she loved Adam deeply. That seems to unlock something, a glimmer of a memory, a laugh, a small hand, a moment. She turns to Ben, her voice filled with new strength. "I know how hard this must be for you. living it over and over. But don't hide Adam from me again. Ben nods, remorseful. I won't, he promises. But the nightmares don't stop. That night, she dreams of the hotel again. Her son is there. A note on the table reads, Mike. And then the man with the scar appears again. The memory sharpens. Flashes of her assault flood back. She wakes up terrified, her mind blank once more. In the car with Dr. Nash the next day, Christine seems different. She looks out the window, then speaks with certainty. Mike. That's the name. He's the one who hurt me. Nash pulls the car over, listening. She's trembling. He reaches over to comfort her, but as he leans in, Christine freezes. Her eyes lock onto his hospital badge. Mike Nash. A jolt of clarity hits her like lightning. She remembers his face in that hotel room, the scar, the pain. Panic sets in. She throws open the car door and runs. Mike opens the trunk and pulls out a syringe. He chases her down the long wooden pier. Christine sprints, desperate, but he catches up and grabs her. Later, Christine is lying on her couch, disoriented. The phone rings. She answers. It's Dr. Nash, the real one. He tells her he gave her a sedative to calm her. Not to put you to sleep, he says. But Christine is already trembling, realizing she's been in the hands of someone else entirely. She remembers. He tells her that she was confused and suffering from fabulation about him, placing all her fears and suspicions on him. Before he hangs up, he says that he had found out something about Ben that he will have to explain to her in person. Ben arrives at the house, and they have dinner together. He asks her who she was talking to on the phone when he tried to call her, and she lies, saying she was calling him. The next day, Christine is listening to Dr. Nash explain how vulnerable patients like her can develop feelings for their psychiatrists. What is less common is for the psychiatrist to develop feelings for their patients. He says that's unprofessional. She thinks that he's her only hope and that they're making progress when he tells her that he will refer her to a colleague. Dr. Nash thinks that treating her further would be unethical, but he thinks that her progress is noticeable because she had remembered to watch the recording even before he had called her that morning. Next, he tells her that he found out that Ben had her transferred from an asylum to a nursing home. The doctor managed to talk to the administrator, who told him that her friend Claire had been trying to get in touch with her. He gives her Claire's number. The administrator also told Nash that Ben had divorced her 4 years prior. Later, Christine calls Claire and leaves her a message saying that she really needs to talk to her. She goes to see Ben at his work. When she asks if they're divorced, he gets angry, but she pushes for the truth. Ben tells her that it's because of the death of their son. First, he walked away from her, but he had come back and he will never leave her again. That same day, Claire calls Christine back. She remembers bits and pieces about her, as Claire tells her that she had kept ringing the nursing home where Christine was placed. She tells her that she misses her and wants to see her. They arrange a meeting at an observatory in an hour. Christine goes to see Claire and waits for her on a bench. When Claire shows up, Christine remembers her. They've missed each other very much. Christine asks Claire if she was a good mother, and she replies that she was great. Ben was also a good father. She asks her friend who did that to her. They grab a drink, and Claire tells her that she was probably having an affair. She confessed it to her eventually, but never gave her any details about the man. Claire apologizes to her for telling Ben, but she had to do it since she had already told the police. Christine thinks that that's the reason why Ben never talks to her about anything, including her. Claire tells her that after her accident, she tried to help Ben out, and the two of them spent a lot of time together, eventually sleeping together. She decided to stay away from them because of that. Before Christine leaves, she gives her a note that Ben left for her with Claire if she was ever good enough to read and understand it. The letter explains the reasons why he left her. In it, Ben says that the main reason was the happiness and well-being of their son, who couldn't bear seeing her like that anymore. Christine finishes the letter as Ben arrives at the house. She records a video in which she is talking to Ben, telling him that by the time he sees the video, he will know everything, including that the only thing she feels for him is love. Later, Christine shows Ben the video she recorded for him and starts telling him about everything that has been happening in the previous weeks. She tells him about Dr. Nash, and he's angry that she kept that from him. When she tells him that she forgives him and that she loves him, he hits her. Christine calls Claire and tells her what has happened with Ben. She says that she'll call him and call Christine right back. In the meantime, she records a video in which she says that he hit her. Claire calls her back and tells her that Ben has been living alone and hasn't seen her in 4 years. She asks her to describe Ben to her. Their descriptions don't match. Claire tells her that Ben has a scar on the side of his face, and Christine has a flashback. The Ben she knows comes back, and she runs to the bathroom to check the photos if he has a scar. When she doesn't see one, Claire tells her that the man she's living with is not Ben. Suddenly, Christine notices that all of the photographs on the wall are doctored. She begins to remember the attack and begs Claire to help her, but she can't remember her address. Claire tells her to find out, as Ben tries to come inside. She has another flashback to the attack, then opens the door. Ben isn't there. Christine walks down the stairs and tries to walk out of the main entrance, only to find it locked. She finds the key to the back door and exits the house, when Ben suddenly grabs her. Christine wakes up the following morning in her bed with Ben. She walks inside the bathroom and sees the photos, then walks out to find him sitting on the bed telling her who he is. When he leaves, the doctor calls her and tells her to find the camera. She only sees the recording where she says that she loves Ben. After that, she notices the bruise on her cheek. The phone rings, and it's Ben this time, asking if everything is okay. He has her cell phone, the one Claire keeps trying to reach. Ben reminds her to pack for their anniversary. Christine tells him that she loves him. Later, Dr. Nash tries to contact her again, but is suddenly called to the reception desk. There, he unexpectedly runs into Ben, who introduces himself. Nash asks how Christine is doing, but Ben coldly warns him to stay away from her. That night, Ben and Christine take a drive to a hotel near the airport. On the way, she asks if it's really their anniversary, and he admits it's not their wedding anniversary, just another kind. She doesn't understand why they're going there. He hands her a glass of champagne and says he wants her to remember what happened. In that moment, something clicks, and she finally remembers. The man in front of her is not Ben. He's Mike. Christine asks where her real husband is, and Mike tells her that Ben left her, but he stayed. He took her out of the nursing home using fake documents because he wanted to take care of her. Now he's tired of lying and wants her to remember everything. Memories of the night of the attack return. Mike threatening to call her husband, then violently striking her. The truth hits her hard. He was the one who attacked her all those years ago. Mike, filled with regret, insists he hates himself for what he did and pleads with her not to leave. But Christine is terrified as the fragments of that night continue to come back. When she tries to walk away, he hits her again. He tells her that they'll either leave together or not at all. Then, in front of her, he begins deleting all of her video recordings from the camera and tells her she's free. Mike demands that she kiss him, and Christine, frightened, complies. He tells her to forget Ben and Adam, insisting they've already forgotten her. That's when Christine realizes Adam is still alive. Furious, Mike begins to beat her again. Christine fights back, and though he initially overpowers her and tries to strangle her, she manages to stab him and break free. She escapes the room and triggers the fire alarm. Soon after, the hotel is surrounded by ambulances and police. Christine sits quietly in the back of an ambulance, cradling the small camera in her hands. Her voice is steady but emotional as she records one more entry, trying to make sense of everything that has happened. She explains what Mike did to her, what she remembered, and how she managed to escape. It's raw, but it's the most clarity she's had in years. Later, in a bright hospital room, Christine sleeps peacefully. Dr. Nash enters quietly and gently wakes her. He tells her who he is, speaking calmly and kindly. Not as her physician this time, but as a friend. She needs support, and Claire has offered to take her home. When he asks if she remembers Claire, Christine nods. Her expression shows a glimmer of recognition and relief. Nash continues to speak softly, assuring her that Mike is in custody now, and that he'll be in prison for a very long time. Then he mentions that there's someone here to see her, someone who might be important in helping her heal. As he steps aside, the door opens slowly and Ben enters. Not the man who pretended to be him, but her real ex-husband. He approaches Christine slowly and sits beside her. She studies his face, and there's something familiar in it. He begins to speak about their son, Adam, that he is alive, that he loves her, that they both do. After a moment, he steps outside and gently calls Adam in. The boy enters the room carefully, unsure of what to expect. He stands close to her, introducing himself. Christine looks at him for a long time, and then something surfaces. A memory, a phrase she used to say to him. She says it now, and in that instant, something deep inside her clicks into place. Tears fill her eyes as she reaches out and embraces him. She remembers. He's her Adam,